Welcome to Holistic Kids Show. My name is Zane.
My name's Abdullah.
And my name's Imad.
We're the Holistic Kids, here to educate us kids from the inside out. Us kids have so much to deal with. Our homes are changing, our bodies are growing. We have a lot of stress. And this stress can lead to lots of conditions, including acne. What is acne? Guess what? We have the perfect guest for you. Dr. Keira Barr.
Blending science with the soul, Dr. Keira Barr turns conventional methodologies on their heads to empower people worldwide to stress less and enjoy life more so they can pursue their passion, purpose, and experience more pleasure in their life. An accomplished double board certified physician, speaker, coach, and mind body medicine expert, and as a medical advisor within the personal care and tech communities. Dr. Barr is dedicated to providing the most cutting edge and innovative solutions for women, and her work has been featured in MindBodyGreen, Better Homes and Gardens, Reader's Digest, Glamour, Self, and the Oprah Magazine, and so much more.
Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Barr.
Thank you for having me. I am super excited to have this conversation with you guys.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
I think this is the first time we have had a holistic dermatologist or a skin specialist on our show. So this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
So we would love to hear your story.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, I am by training a dual board certified dermatologist in practice in medicine for over 20 years. And what I found when I was practicing is that people would come to me to look better, but really what they were looking also for was to feel better. And especially when it came to acne, it really was hard to see, people were struggling, especially young people like yourselves, teenagers, struggling with the physical aspects of acne on their skin, but more so how it affected them emotionally. And so it made me realize that we really need to focus our attention on supporting our acne patients from the inside out and the outside in.
So what is acne?
That is such a great question. I love it. So acne is, it can come in many different forms, from mild to very severe. And really, acne is an inflammatory condition. So redness, pustules, bumps on the face that are all based around the hair follicle. And there are four main contributing factors to acne, which is dead skin cells that plug that hair follicle, bacteria, and inflammation, and oil, which we call sebum. So those are the four contributing factors that cause acne. And that can show up as white pussy bumps, as red bumps on the skin, or what we call blackheads. So it's dead skin cells that are exposed to the air and it oxidizes it, so it gives it that black look.
What is the way that conventional medicine deals with acne?
That is a great question. There's a lot of different ways, and it really depends on the kind of acne that somebody has, from very mild to very severe. So sometimes in conventional medicine, we would treat on the skin surface. So we would use what we call topical medications, antibiotic lotions or gels, certain washes that have ingredients like salicylic acid or glycolic acid to help remove the dead skin cells that are plugging the follicles, benzoyl peroxide to help with the bacterial component, and then topical antibiotics as well to help with the bacteria, but also because antibiotics can have an anti-inflammatory component, which addresses one of the aspects of acne. If acne is a little bit more severe, oftentimes conventional doctors, dermatologists, and others who treat acne would give oral antibiotics as well. If it's really severe, there is a medication called Accutane or vitamin A derivative that people can take. And all of these medications can be really quite helpful. But what I've found over the years, taking a more holistic approach, is that we can't just rely on the pill. We actually have to address what the root cause, what's causing that acne in the first place.
That's so true. So, what is the youngest age that you see acne in kids? And can people older than 20 or 18 get acne?
Absolutely. The textbooks will say there's a certain age that acne starts and a certain age that it ends. And I can tell you that we are human beings and we don't fit in a textbook. So acne can occur in kids as young as probably 7 or 8, and we would consider those children having precocious puberty. That's a little bit earlier, and there may be some hormonal imbalances that need to be evaluated why acne is happening so young. The other thing, the textbooks might say that acne is supposed to stop at the age of 25, but I assure you that isn't the case. There are women, I focus mostly supporting women who are going through menopause, so women in their 40s and 50s, and they're getting acne. So anybody at any time, unfortunately, can be affected by acne.
Do you think is the biggest myth about acne besides the age limit?
Yeah, I think one of the things too, especially for young people, they think that it may be that they're doing something wrong, that somehow their skin is breaking out because their hygiene isn't very good, or that their skin isn't very clean. And I would say that is not true. Acne can occur for many different reasons, which we can certainly touch on. But I think that's a big one, that you're breaking out because you're not clean. Your skin is not clean.
So I have a question. Can people remove acne by themselves, or should they see a medical professional?
It really depends. That's a great question, because it depends on how severe it is, right? And even if it's not very severe in the scheme of things from a professional perspective, right? When you are the individual who's dealing with acne, it may feel very severe. And I think that's the important thing. How much does it bother you? And do you feel that you need support? There are things that can be done on our own. There are over-the-counter washes that have glycolic acid or salicylic acid or even benzoyl peroxide, some of the treatments that your conventional doctor might give you, but in a lesser potency or a lesser concentration that can be used. And I guess when you find that whatever you're trying at home isn't working and you need that support, that's a good time to get help from a professional.
What are the root causes of acne?
That is a great question. And that answer is there could be many. So one of the things that I know that your family is a big proponent about is a holistic approach to health, and food can be medicine. And that's a big issue when it comes to skin health as well. It used to be thought that food had nothing to do with acne. But we know, even dating back to the 1930s, do you know that there were 2 dermatologists named Dr. Stokes and Pillsbury who actually made the correlation between our gut health, our skin health, and our brain health? And it had to also do with our emotions, but also bringing attention to, again, that gut health and food. So not true for everybody, but for some people who are sensitive to it, especially dairy products and added sugars have been shown to worsen acne. And why that happens is it increases certain levels of hormones that trigger both inflammation as well as directly stimulating your oil glands to secrete what we call sebum, 2 of the major contributors to the formation of acne. So one of the big causes could be your diet.
So you were talking about the relation between skin health and the gut health. Can acne just be caused by hormonal changes, or is there always that gut health cause?
Right. So that is a wonderful question. And oftentimes there are many layers to it's usually not necessarily just one thing. That being said, your question about hormonal shifts is a really good one, especially as adolescents are transitioning to puberty, or women are transitioning to their next phase of life in menopause, when our hormonal levels may be fluctuating. And it's a relative imbalance sometimes of our hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, that can contribute to formation of acne on the face. And also hormones like insulin, that that can be you know increased or decreased based on the food that we eat. And if our gut health, if that's a little bit off, if we have what we call leaky gut and inflammation, that can contribute as well. So it's very individual for each person, but certainly there are people if that can have primarily hormonal acne. Depends.
What food should we stop eating to help our skin?
That is a great question. And so I mentioned two big ones that are known to contribute to acne. The first one is dairy. And so for some people, we know that dairy can increase something called insulin growth factor 1. And that receptor, when it's stimulated by consumption of dairy, turns on those oil glands, which can contribute to acne. And it's important to keep in mind that it's not just dairy in milk or yogurt or ice cream. Some people may be affected by dairy products that are even in your protein bars, like whey or other derivatives where dairy is included in your packaged food. So it's important to read your labels to know what you're eating, because that could be contributing to worsening of your acne. And the other big one is sugar. We know that added sugar does a similar thing. It causes your hormone insulin to spike, your blood sugar goes up. We know that that creates stress in the body, inflammation, and again, turns on some of those factors that can worsen acne.
What food should we eat to help our skin?
That is another great question. And so there's a lot of great, I'm a little bit blurry. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of great foods that you can eat to support your skin. So one of the medications that I mentioned that conventional doctors may use when acne is really severe is Accutane. And Accutane is a vitamin A derivative. So eating foods that are rich in vitamin A, your beta, your carrots and other, eating the rainbow, but foods that are rich in vitamin A can be very helpful. Inflammation is another big component of acne. So eating foods that can help with inflammation, omega-3 fatty acids, your wild caught salmon and fatty fishes like sardines and mackerel can be very helpful as well. Foods that help skin repair, foods that have selenium like Brazil nuts and zinc. So I think eating just a nutrient-dense whole food diet that has a lot of variety is really important, specifically those fruits and veggies that are rich in vitamin A and your omega-3 fatty acids.
That's amazing. So you mentioned stress and how stress can lead to skin issues. How does stress affect your skin?
This is a great topic that there's a lot in it. So here's the thing. It's a big 85% of adolescents worldwide are affected by acne. That's a lot of people. And what they've found when they've done studies is that not only does having acne create a sense of stress, people don't like what they see, they feel embarrassed or ashamed, but they've also found that stress itself can worsen acne. And so what's so interesting is when we are stressed, our brain responds by sending signals throughout our body to stimulate release of hormones and inflammation, and that's what contributes to signaling the skin to release more oil and such. What most people don't realize is that your skin has the exact same machinery as your brain, the same signaling pathways, what we call the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, that can produce those stress hormones like cortisol, noradrenaline, and adrenaline that can stimulate and worsen acne. So the skin receives stress signals and also creates stress signals, which means that it can contribute to worsening of acne and delay wound healing. So stress can have a huge impact on your skin health.
How can kids lower their stress?
That is a wonderful question. And there's a good news. There's a lot of ways you can use to help you decrease your stress. But probably the easiest, simplest, fastest way to reduce your stress is just to breathe. You're doing it right now, right? But most of us, when we're feeling stressed or upset or angry about something, we don't pay attention to how we're breathing. And so we may be breathing, I might actually be holding our breath, but we could be breathing really shallow. We could be breathing in our chest rather than our belly. So the quickest way to reduce your stress is really just to pay attention to how you're breathing and pay attention to where you're breathing, and just be taking a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And it's as simple as that. You don't have to do anything different than you already are. It's just a matter of slowing down for a minute and giving yourself a moment to just breathe.
That's amazing. So, are there any other ways that we can fix our breath besides that doing that one routine?
You bet. There's so many different ways that you can. Another really helpful method is imagine that focusing your attention on your chest and that your breath is coming from your heart. So if you can envision, kids have great imaginations. And as you breathe in, you can imagine that your heart is swelling with confidence. And as you exhale, you're exhaling all your doubt and worry. And you can just imagine almost like this balloon that's blowing up with every breath and out, and just using your visualization, using your imagination to fill yourself with good feelings and exhale all the bad feelings that you may be having. And you can do that actually anytime, anywhere, even when you're sitting in front of a camera, especially with school. I mean, school's a hard time when if the teacher assigns something and you're not prepared or asks you a question and you're on the spot, you literally could just focus on your breath, just 3 breaths, and I promise you, it's a game changer.
Are there any other ways us kids can manage stress?
You bet. What's your favorite activity that you like to do?
Draw, paint.
Drawing and painting. That is one of the top ways that you actually can reduce your stress. It's actually considered a form of meditation because you're bringing your attention, your focused attention to what you're doing. So that is an amazing way to help reduce your stress. Just the act of drawing and focusing, it takes your attention off of what you may have been worried about and channeling it into creating something. So art and drawing is a wonderful way. How about you guys? What are some of your favorite activities?
Mine is.
I like to read.
Reading is a wonderful way to help reduce your stress. What about you?
I like to craft.
Craft. You guys are very creative and artistic, and that's fabulous. And sometimes, if you're feeling really revved up, sometimes moving your body actually can be an amazing way to de-stress because we hold stress in our body and we feel very frozen sometimes. So any type of movement or exercise or running or putting on your favorite song and having a dance party in your kitchen with your mom actually is probably one of the most fun ways, I think, to reduce stress. I actually have a disco ball. My kids don't they sometimes try and run away when I bring it out, but I'm telling you, having a dance party, moving your body, especially after you have to sit in front of a camera in school, is probably one of the easiest, fastest way. We call it, you can shake and dance, but just releasing the tension in your body is a great way to reduce stress.
What are other lifestyle changes we can incorporate to help our skin?
I love this question. So, from my perspective, the top 3 things that you can do. Number one, we touched on one, which was diet, really looking at what we're eating. Again, this comes all back to paying attention and mindfulness. Mindfulness is actually one form of meditation, really just being in the moment, paying attention to what we're putting in our body, because when we pay attention to the foods that we're eating, we'll be able to notice, is that something that irritated my skin? Did my skin start to break out more, especially when it comes to dairy and a lot of added sugar? The second thing that we can do, probably one of the most important things that you can do in terms of lifestyle, is really focusing on sleep. And this is, something that as we adults get older, we don't always prioritize sleep. But sleep is a time when your skin heals and repairs itself. And there's a lot of different hormones that are actually produced at night, specifically one called melatonin, which is incredibly important for helping your skin repair from all the damage that's been done during the day. And when we talk about stress, sleep is a time when your stress hormone are trying to rebalance. So your stress hormone cortisol is supposed to go down at night and come back up in the morning. Melatonin is supposed to go up at night and go down in the morning. If you're not prioritizing your sleep and you're staying up late, or there's a lot of, you're on your device and your room is not very dark to allow for quality sleep, then your skin doesn't have that opportunity to repair itself. And high levels of that stress hormone cortisol can cause breakdown of the supportive tissue in your skin and prevent it from repairing and healing. So sleep is really important. And of course, stress, really working on being aware of when you're stressed and incorporating the reading or the crafting or the artwork to really help ease that sense of discomfort or anxiety that you may experience.
Are there nutrition deficiencies that can lead to acne?
So this is an interesting question. So certainly we want to make sure that we have an overall healthy diet, a whole foods, nutrient dense diet. And so because we know that vitamin A can be helpful for acne, zinc can be helpful for healing skin, vitamin D, selenium, most people, unless you tested, looking at levels, it's hard to know if people are truly deficient. But we do know that bolstering foods that have those types of vitamins and nutrients in them can be very beneficial.
Are there tests doctors can order to find the root cause of acne?
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. And it's certainly not in our traditional physician's offices, at least not widespread. But when we talk about the gut-skin connection, doctors can look at gut health. So we are finding that when, we've got our gut microbiome and trillions of bacteria, and it has been shown that when there is an imbalance between the healthy and the not so healthy, or the good and the bad bacteria in our gut, and creating something called dysbiosis, there are exacerbations of acne. Or if there's deficient in certain strains of acne, in the gut, we're finding it can be correlated with worsening of acne. So doing a test like looking for dysbiosis in the gut can be done. Looking for food sensitivities is one. And also, if it appears, based on someone's diet, if there's concern about nutrient deficiencies, that type of testing can be done as well.
If a child has skin issues, where should they start to fix their skin?
That's a great question. So it really depends on what the skin issue is. But again, coming back to paying attention, your skin is your most visible organ. So you can see it and you can see what's happening, and you can also see when things might be getting worse or things might be getting better. So I think one of the best places to start is probably with food. Food is medicine, right? And we can do experiments. Your body can become this amazing chemistry lab that you can do experiments in. Experimenting with removing certain foods. So for some people, we talked about, dairy being problematic for some people, added sugar for some people, it's gluten or corn, and doing a elimination diet of sorts for a short period of time. The other thing too is skin likes to be nourished. So another thing is it depends on if the skin is irritated and dry, using moisturizers, and there are certain types of moisturizers. One is called a humectant, which draws water into the skin to rehydrate it, and another type of moisturizer called an occlusive, and that helps seal that moisture in. So sometimes it's really just a matter of supporting the skin barrier with moisturizers to help, get that skin starting to feel better.
Wow, you're so inspirational. Where can people learn about more about you in your book?
Well, thank you. I think you guys are pretty inspirational hosting a show at 8, 10, and 13. So my book, The Skin Whisperer, you can find it on Amazon, online, Barnes & Noble, and all those kinds of places. And then on Instagram, I'm hanging out at Dr. Keira Barr, or my website, drkeirabarr.com.
That was so empowering. Everyone make sure to follow Dr. Barr on social media and make sure to buy her book. Thank you so much, Dr. Barr. Let's recap Dr. Barr's key points.
Stress destroys our body. The bad bugs we have in our gut that thrive on stress. This leads to more and more bad bugs, which then increases our sugar cravings. Stress also drastically weakens our immune system and leads to inflammation, affecting our brains, bodies, and behavior. Educate us about the foods that we put in our bodies, that we are putting on our bodies. Lower inflammatory foods like dairy, sugar, and fake foods that can lead to skin inflammation. Eat the rainbow of fruits and veggies, clean protein, and healthy fat to help give our skin the nutrition that we need. Eat foods with lots of vitamin A and omega-3 fatty acids.
Stress leads to a lot of inflammation and can lead to skin problems. Incorporate a stress management technique into your daily routine, as stress makes us kids crave sugar, and sugar is terrible for the skin. Dr. Barr wants us just to breathe, as breathing can help us lower stress. Other fun ways to lower stress is by moving your body.
Make sure you sleep on time. Sleep is so important for our skin and hormones and can influence our mood. And when you don't sleep, there is more inflammation and your body can't heal. Make sure you go to a certified holistic practitioner so they can help you with fighting the root cause of why we have these skin issues.
Wow, Dr. Barr, that was amazing. Thank you again for honoring us with your time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zayn Sari.
I'm Abdullah.
And I'm Maud. Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom D. And look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, Your Guide to Healing Chronic Inflammation and Disease, the Pandemic Prescription, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventure. So check it out on Amazon. Yay! Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast in iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kids Show, where kids are empowering kids.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.